In terms of modes of transportation, ships are by far the slowest, but they also have huge engines. This slowness is why ocean liners went out of business. Ships are the largest, highest capacity, and some of the coolest modes of transport in the world. However, they are slow. A trip from London to New York would be almost 4 days on the Queen Mary 2, but it's 8 hours on a plane. Yet, ships have more horsepower than both planes and cars, and some can go insane speeds. So, why are ships so slow? And how can some reach speeds fast enough to destroy them? Let's explore the rules of navigation. First, let's talk about why other vehicles go fast. It's explained quite quickly, but there's a lot of math, so stay with me. Cars are small and light and use powerful engines. Ships use more powerful engines but are extremely heavy. For example, let's take one ship as an example for this video. Let's take a ship that I actually have a lot of nostalgia for, as it was the largest ship in the world when I was little, and I remember being obsessed with this relatively average ship by today's standards. Anyways, the Emma Marisk weighs 170,000 gross registered tons when unloaded. That's nearly, oh boy, 382,570,560 pounds, if you speak freedom, and 173,534,715 kilograms. But I'll just use pounds because most of you are probably American anyways. An average car such as the Tesla Model 3 weighs only 3,862 pounds, which is still a lot, but not nearly as much. Now, let's get into the speed and horsepower of the two. The Tesla Model 3 has around 460 horsepower using an AC permanent magnet synchronous motor, powering it up to 160 miles an hour, giving it a power-to-weight ratio of 0.06, versus the Emma Marisk, which has a Wurtz-Sulzer RTA96C, which is the largest engine in the world, producing 109,000 horsepower, giving it a total power-to-weight ratio of 2.849. This powers the Emma Marisk to 25 knots, or 29.3 miles an hour, or 47 kilometers per hour. This means the Emma Marisk has 47 times the power of the Model 3, but the Tesla Model 3 goes 5.5 times faster than the Emma Marisk. Well, it starts to add up when you realize the Emma Marisk weighs over 99,000 times more than a Model 3, and add to the fact that water is 803 times more dense than air. Ships have drag and currents, as well as waves, and much more that influence the ship's speed. Plus, the faster a ship goes, the harder it is to slow down. Also, another good point is that the reason shipping moves the world is because ships move the most amount of stuff for the least costs. Due to the size, they can offset the cost of fuel with container profit. In fact, maintenance and fuel only takes away 15% of an average container revenue, meaning that the profits are insane for ships. But if ships run at full speed, they use more fuel and cost more. So, the benefits of making more money outweigh going faster. So, only ferries and ocean liners try to go as fast as they can. With the SS United States going 42 knots, even if that was not at cruising speed and was not efficient, and the SRN4 hovercraft ferry going 70 knots, or 103 kilometers an hour. But fuel efficiency on that thing was terrible, and the SRN4 drove the company it operated for into bankruptcy. However, we must talk about speedboats as well. Now, I'm not doing any calculations again, cause my brain is fried, but speedboats basically work by lifting the boat out of the water. This is what's called a planing hull, and allows small boats to go the speed of cars. However, this type of hull won't work on a large ship due to the aforementioned weight issue, displacement hulls are mostly used in non-speedboats, and they offer the most efficiency for the most buoyancy and stability. Besides, a planing hull wouldn't work because when a ship is planing, it is very unstable and rocky, so you'd never see a cargo ship with a planing hull. Basically, it's all about economics and water density. Speedboats are good for fun and going fast, but not good for carrying cargo. Hydrofoils also use wings to lift themselves out of the water, catamarans minimize the amount of ship in the water, and hovercraft literally fly, and of course, flying boats also exist. But there's one more interesting thing I think we should talk about: the water speed record. Due to the dangers of waves sending you flying into the air, causing your boat to smash into a million pieces, 7 of the 13 people who have attempted it since 1930 have died during the attempt, and everyone who attempted it after the current record holder has died. This is because driving down lakes on flimsy boats at insane speeds is a recipe for disaster, with the record prize passing between American and British idiots before Australia came in and took the prize. The first one to die attempting it was ironically named Henry Seagrave, who went about 99 miles per hour. Unsatisfied, he went back to the same day and struck an object, flipping the boat and killing him. The next record was set by Malcolm Campbell in 1936, with a record of 141 miles an hour. After World War II, jets became the preferred way of propelling ships. In 1953, John Cobb and his boat the Crusader attempted to break the 200-mile-an-hour limit. He told his support ships to stop moving on Loch Ness and wait an hour for the waves to calm down, as even one small 7mm wave would destroy the boat. Then, he and the boat sped up to 210 miles an hour, breaking the barrier. Then, the boat's front plane collapsed, killing him instantly, and shredding the boat. In 2002, a search for the Loch Ness Monster found the wreck. Then, in 1954, the Italian Motorboat Federation offered $100,000 to any Italian who could break the record. The Laura 3 was built, and it reached 306 kilometers per hour. However, the boat lost control and flipped through the water, killing one of its crew. Then, a race car driver named Donald Campbell, son of Malcolm Campbell, tried to break the record and take it from his father. He created a boat called Bluebird K7, and on the first attempt, he went 202 miles per hour. But this time, he survived and actually kept the record. He went on to break the record 9 times, peaking at 276 miles an hour or 444 kilometers an hour. He could have stopped, but not to be deterred, in 1967, he tried to break his land speed record. In January 4th, 1967, he broke the record at 296 miles per hour. But after reaching the end, he tried to go back across the lake before waiting for the water to settle down. And with less fuel, the K7 pitched up uncontrollably before flying into the air and crashing down, killing Campbell instantly. The next day, the boat was found on the bottom of the lake with no sign of Campbell's body. In 2001, Bluebird was recovered alongside the body of Campbell, which was finally found. The boat was restored and, in 2018, sailed again, and it still runs today. In 1978, Ken Warby, an Australian race car driver, made a ship called the Spirit of Australia, and got up to 317 miles per hour and survived to tell the tale, setting the record permanently. Afterwards, 2 people also tried to break the record and both got themselves killed. The first one was Lee Taylor and the second was Craig Aframs. So, as we can see, there are several reasons why ships are slow, but the main reason is because of drag and weight. Ships weigh more than any mode of transport, but that's not why people use them. They use them to carry people and goods, and more than any other mode of transport. Ships have moved the world for thousands of years, and that is unlikely to change anytime soon. Fair winds and following seas.